Race Weekend is brought to you by Phoenix Fuels.
Make every trip come alive with Phoenix Fuels, now with Pulse technology.
The rainy season is wreaking havoc on the schedules of local motorsports events. The rains either flooding venues and forcing cancellations or cutting short race programs during race weekends. The 2018 FlatOut Race Series again fell victim to the rains, and race weekend was at the rained-out 6th round of the series.
The wet races are back once again, and so are we. This time for round 6 of the FlatOut Race Series, and despite the heavy rainfall, drivers from their respective teams are eager to start the race.
It has been raining intermittently at the Clark International Speedway, the venue for the 6th round of the 2018 FlatOut Race Series. The rains have not only dampened the track, but created puddles and standing water in many parts of the track. This has made for what the organizers of the grassroots motorsports event describe as a wet and wild event. It was also a hectic affair as Force was sharing the track with a second leg of the 2018 Formula V1 Challenge.
Okay, I'm here once again with JP Castellano for another round of FlatOut Race Series. Hi JP, thank you again for joining us.
Welcome to the Clark International Speedway. It's another wet and wild round of the Petron FlatOut Race Series. And for this round, we are running together with a GT Formula V1 and the Asian V8 Championship. So a very varied variety of races today for high-powered V8 cars and lightweight Formula V1 race cars too.
Despite the intermittent rains and the tight schedule for programmed events on race day, Force regulars managed to take the track for practice and to record timed laps for their time brackets. From the slowest bracket G to the fastest bracket A, and the special brackets bracket R and the supercar and the 86 class. Perhaps it was luck of the draw when their names were called to take on the track. Perhaps some were just more adaptable to constantly changing track conditions. But there were more new names than old going on top of the timesheets for chosen time brackets. Fastest in the slowest bracket G was Paui Base. In bracket F, JC Alberto. In bracket E, Michael Anthony Ocampo. In bracket G, Dan Errol Panganiban. In bracket C, Douglas Maninding. In bracket B, Aaron Lau. In bracket A, Gabi Sohu. In bracket R, Rafael Lau. In the 86 class, Rafi Rabe. One of those who enjoyed competing in the rain was Paui Base. The fun made more enjoyable for topping his class on his debut to circuit racing.
We were really racing in such difficult conditions, but it was a very fun and enjoyable experience. And I'm very happy we were able to bring home a class win.
Being under the AAP's Motorsports Development Program, Paui's coaches played a major role for him to top his bracket on his first stint.
Well, they told me how I should handle the race properly, how my driving most importantly, especially in these conditions which are very hazardous and risky. So they gave me good points on how to properly control my car. So I guess it turned out very well today.
The official timesheets formed the basis for grid positions for those who qualified for grid races run after the time attack sessions were completed. But like what happened in round 4, also at the Clark International Speedway, organizers were again forced to cut short the race program for the day, but not before the sprint races for Grid D and Grid E were run.
Well, another racing session stopped by an unfortunate rain. That just shows how you value safety here in FlatOut Race Series. Can you tell us a little more about how are you going to carry on the next round?
Well, as we know, racing is a lot of fun and it's fun to drive in the wet and slippery conditions. But we want to look after the safety and the condition of the drivers who are participating. So while we were able to finish the morning races, the morning time attack and the first race of the lower grids, the grids Delta and Echo, we elected with a consultation of the AAP to postpone the race to the next round for the safety of the participants because of the heavy rainfall this afternoon.
Are there any other unfortunate events like cars crashing or what?
Well, some cars we can't help but because of the slippery conditions, they overshoot their braking zones and they fall into the gravel trap or go into the grass. But the Clark Speedway is pretty well designed, so there are plenty of runoff areas in the important braking zones and enough space for cars to recover when they spin out. So no one was injured today, and that's very good. There were some cars that found themselves in the gravel and in the grass, but otherwise, no major incidents today. We're happy to report.
In Grid D race, Polong Cuangco started second on the grid. But near the end of the race, with visibility down to almost zero, Cuangco found himself in the lead and taking the checkered flag.
In the first lap, napakalakas ng ulan nung first lap. Medyo nahirapan kami, actually hindi lang ako, yung mga kalaban ko rin. Kasi zero visibility siya. Tapos sobrang mataas na yung tubig nung mismong racetrack. So napakahirap niya i-drive. Saka medyo delikado na talaga. Enjoy lang, tapos medyo syempre kailangan ilabas yung skills sa pag-turn ng kotse. Medyo nahirapan talaga. Pero yun, medyo maganda yung naging feedback ng kotse sa akin. Medyo nagkaintindihan kami, kaya yun, naging natsambahan po yung champion.
7 drivers, led by Felix Chua, qualified for the Grid E race. The race started and ended in truly wet conditions. And at the end of the race, it was Chua taking the checkered flag ahead of Cody Nang. After the race, organizers deemed it too dangerous to hold the other scheduled grid races, which will now be held in the next round.
So when is the Force next round?
So next round will be at the Batangas Racing Circuit this second Saturday of September. And we'll be back here in October at the Clark International Speedway for the final round of the 2018 season.
And that does it for our coverage of Round 6 of the 2018 FlatOut Race Series. This is Ray Louis Gamboa. See you next week.
While the heavy rains may have cut short the Force 6-round schedule, it surely did not cut short the enjoyment some of the competitors took from racing on a wet track. Perhaps some like it better in the wet.
This week's feature on Race Weekend has been brought to you by Phoenix Fuels.
Make every trip come alive with Phoenix Fuels, now with Pulse technology. These are the Fuel Masters. Every time they're on the court, it's high performance. Every time I'm on the road, I can also expect high performance from Phoenix Fuels. We made it! The next generation Phoenix Fuels, now with Pulse technology, delivers enhanced power and acceleration to make every trip come alive.